Today I'm going to demonstrate how to use the Decker branded Transflo app on your phone, as well as the GeoTab unit that's in your truck. The Transflo app can be found on Google Play Store as well as the iStore. It is important to note that you must sign in to your GeoTab unit in the truck prior to signing into the Transflo application on your phone using the same credentials. These are the new credentials that were given to you and the GeoTab sign-on. So your email address will be the one that Decker provides you. It's your username or driver code at decker.com. Again, you'll need to sign into the GeoTab unit on the truck prior to using the Transflo Mobile App. Click Open, and it will open the application for you. It'll first bring up the screen and allow you to determine if you want the portrait or the landscape view. I prefer the portrait view on my phone. And then you can begin registration. Read through the licensing agreement for the Transflo Mobile App. And once you've completed that, you can scroll to the bottom right and agree. From here, you're going to begin the registration by putting in your email address. Remember that the email address is your driver code plus decker.com. Enter in your first name and your last name and your telephone number. And then go to the upper right-hand corner, next. I am a driver in this case, so you're going to want to go to the login, the far right option. Your driver ID, again, is your driver code, and then the password. The password is going to be a combination of the last 6 digits of your social security number, plus the first letter of your first name and the first letter of your last name. It is important to know that the first letters of your first and last name must both be capitalized in order for it to work properly. And then the upper right-hand corner, next. Allow it to register. And here you'll see that it confirms the email address. You'll want to proceed. At this time, you do want to allow all the time for this device, for Decker Truckline to access the device's location. It won't work unless you allow it at all times. Now you'll see the dashboard. This is the main dashboard for the Transflo Mobile App. You'll be coming back to this in most cases multiple times. To make sure that you're on the right app and that it will work properly, first look at the bottom left-hand corner where there's a picture of an icon that looks similar to a speedometer. Just below that is your fleet code. It should state DECK1ELD. In the bottom right-hand corner, it should give your email address, which is your driver code at decker.com. If it does, then you know that it should work well with the GeoTab unit in the truck. It's going to be able to communicate back and forth. The GeoTab unit in your truck must be the very first thing you sign into with those credentials. If you sign into the mobile app first, it will not work properly. Now, where it says Transflo Mobile App at the top, if you put your finger there and slide down, it'll have a pop-up with your load information, your hours of service login, and scan documents. Let's first start with the load information. If you click on load information, it'll give you the available loads, any that you've accepted, what are in transit, and completed. There's nothing currently in available or accepted. And if I go into transit, I'll see a load in there. Now there's 2 ways that you can get back to the dashboard. You can either use the back button in the upper left-hand corner where it says in transit, it's the back arrow, or you can go to the 3 dots icon on the upper right-hand corner, which gives you the option to go to the dashboard, to see your notifications, to chat with your driver manager, or the help button. The help button will bring you to the Transflo support page.
Always remember that you can contact the training department with any issues involving the Transflo mobile app. Training's extension is 8554.
Now I'm going to go back, exit out of this pop-up because I only want to go back one level. So I'll go to the back button and I'm going to click on completed, and this will show any completed loads with the details. So you have the load number and then the addresses. I'm going to go back again twice, and that'll bring me back to the dashboard with the pop-up, and these are the main things that you'll be using on the Transflo mobile app, with the exception of probably the chat. So the middle section is Hour of Service Login. This is the same as the very first button, the T7 HLS login, that you'll see on the main dashboard page. Once you click on the Hours of Service option, it will ask you to put your password in, and if you save it, it won't ask you again. Again, this password is the first 6 digits of your social security number plus the first letter of your first and last name, both capitalized. You can save it and log in. It's currently uploading and updating all of your hours of service information, so it may just take a moment. Again, it's updating with the Geo tab in the truck. And then at this point, you will need to put the truck information in order for it to continue to connect. You can then close or go back to the dashboard using the upper right-hand button, which is the 3 dots. And then you'll see how it updates, showing that I'm on my 34-hour. Then on the right-hand side, it's Scan Documents option. For the Scan Documents, you do need to allow Decker to access photos, media, and files on your device. This will give permission to use the camera. In the bottom right-hand corner, click Use Camera. Again, allow pictures and to record. And then it'll automatically begin showing on the top, you'll see No Document Detected. There's a big red stripe, and then it turns yellow once it's detected. Then you can go ahead and adjust the document using the circles. Once you've done so, go Next, and it will continue to show the image. That's pretty dark, so I'm going to change the brightness by clicking on the brightness button at the very bottom and pressing lighter. And it will continue to go lighter until you get to the point that you feel that payroll or safety or whoever's receiving these documents will be able to read them. You can discard with the garbage at the bottom, the little garbage can. You can rotate it, and then in the upper right, you can go to the next document. So again, you can use the camera and replace it. You can open the document up by clicking on it, and then you can go Next, put the load information, the truck number, and your driver ID should automatically go in there. And then once completed, you go Done, and you can send it. I'm going to discard this one. And that's how you scan a document. So going back to the main part of the dashboard, you just click anywhere on the below the page there. And the electronic logs, that's going to be the exact same thing that you saw when we drug that down. And so will the scan document. The Copilot truck navigation is the navigation system in a truck. You do need to allow manage phone calls. And that will prevent using the phone while you're driving. So a safety measure that is implemented. At the bottom, you'll see your hours of service. And then here you'll have the user agreement. Once you've read it, press accept. And you'll have the different maps to choose from. This is, again, this is the truck navigation system. You can go back to the dashboard. And from here, you'll be able to access your loads, which again, we saw earlier when we did the drop down. You have the dispatch, chat with the dispatch. So if you click on that, it'll allow you to see the different communications that you've received from your fleet manager. If you want to request, or if you want to say good morning, or just checking in, you can do so by beginning to type and then push send. And then again, backing out. The settlements tab will show any pay stubs that you have. The weather will bring up the map of your current location, as well as the weather options. The fuel optimization request. This will allow you to request a fuel solution. It has the cheat notes down below showing what the fuel level is. You write the corresponding letter to what the fuel level is. In this case, I'm going to put E. And then send. And that will show You go back to the chat with dispatch, that will show that you've requested fuel optimization for current assignment. You can go back out of the chat yet again. Lumber requests on the right-hand side. You need to put the stop number, your customer name, the lumber amount, the amount that's needed, and then define whether it's going to be a ComData or an EFS. And then you push send, and it will request that as well. In the bottom left-hand corner is the advance and expense request. For the advance and expense request, you need to define whether or not it's an expense or an advance. You'll need to have your driver code, the amount needed, and what the reasoning is for. And there are some examples below for cheat notes for the reasons. And then you can send that, and it'll send in that request. Safety. Safety messages. Now this opens up a whole nother set of options, set of buttons. You have accident, OS&D, safety documents, Infinity training, or what will be Luma training, your smart drive access, Transflo ELD videos, and ELD requirements. From the accidents, it'll give you the directions on what to do for accidents, and I'll walk you through that.
Click on the bottom right where the camera, get part of this calendar here. As an example, once it says document detected, it'll take a photo. Once it says document detected, will be a yellow document detected. There we are. All right, so once you have taken the picture or the snapshot, you can then adjust or crop the image itself. So if you took too much white space on the outside of your document and you want to narrow it down so it's easier to read, larger print, all you need to do is click on the blue circles in any of the corners and use your finger just to drag the document to move the document in. And you can move it out as well to make adjustments. Once you've done that, you go to the upper right-hand corner where it says Next. And then you can see the image the same way that payroll will be seeing the image. So once your documents are sent in, this is how they will look, which is reassuring because unlike the scanners that are in the truck or at truck stops, you're never quite sure what the receiver will see. And in this case, you can see exactly what they're going to see. Here, you can change the brightness, you can rotate it, you can change the format, or you can discard it. And then at that point, you can go ahead and go next. If you've completed taking the photos, you can continue by going to the upper right-hand corner and clicking on Next, or you can take another photo by clicking on the green button down at the bottom that says Camera. Otherwise, if you go to the Next button, it'll bring you to the option to send all, to add photos, or to discard all of it. If you go to Send All, then it'll bring you to the confirmation page, reassuring you that the recipient has in fact received the documents.
OS&D, we'll walk you through that.
So you've got directions on how to, if you have any information, bills, item numbers, load information, and then of course required photo, which will be needed by going next in the upper right hand corner, and again taking a photo with the bottom, there we go, the bottom right hand corner, take a photo. You'll be able to take a photo. And you can back right out of that. The Infinity training videos. Here's the smart drive. Yours will look a little bit different than this. You'll have your smart drive login, and then once you open it up, your login will be able to give you your smart drive numbers. From the safety, you'll also see the ELD training, which is a combination of how-to videos for hours of service logs, the DVIR report, and updating your vehicle assets. Back at the safety window, click on the ELD required documents, and from there you'll be able to see the inspection card and the roadside inspection card. And then going back again to the safety, you will then be able to access the guide to diagnostics and malfunction. And then the third item is the Transflo ELD user manual, which is about 46, 49 pages, so it is a larger document and will take a little bit of time to download. Now you can go ahead and back out of the Transflo GeoTab manual. Once you back out of the manual, go one more back out of safety, and this will bring you to the main page of the dashboard. Then swipe left, and it'll bring you to the ELD Features tab. This is going to keep us up to date on any new features that will be coming out for the ELD. And then from there you can go ahead and back out once more to the second page of the dashboard. Now from this back home page, this dashboard, we'll go to the hours of service option, which is at the top middle. And from there, you'll be able to email your spouse, yourself, your accountant, whoever you put in there for an email. So you can go ahead and enter the email address, put it in this first email section here, and it will pop up a keyboard and you can start typing that. And then once submitted, it will give you a comment. Now this next tab is the Decker Announcements tab, and that's in the top right corner. And you'll notice that any announcements such as the Inside the Triangle, the Friday emails that go out, or the podcasts that have come out, or even announcements from benefits, from Andrea and benefits, those will all be on the Decker announcement page. Then you can go back, and next will be our driver scorecard. So when you go into the driver scorecard area, it'll bring up your claims, CSA points, fuel compliance, driver idle, driver miles, preventable accidents, service failures, and your total score. You'll be able to see each one and what your score was for each of them. Turning once again to the dashboard, you'll see the Decker Driver Portal and the DTL webpage option. The Decker Portal will bring you to the Decker website, and the webpage will bring you directly to the homepage of our DTL site. From there, you can go to the Settlements option, and the Settlements option will just give you a breakdown of your last pay stubs, and you have the option to look at them in the PDF. They'll just download in the PDF. You also have the option to share that page down at the very bottom. And then you can go back out of that. And then there's a to-do list. The to-do list is a great reminder and helps not only you keep track, but also compliance and your fleet manager work together to keep your CDL renewed on time, get the updated MVRs, and of course your physical to maintain its status. The next one is Weigh My Truck. And when you go into the Weigh My Truck app, it gives you a video tutorial as well as a PDF tutorial, and then the app itself is on the far right hand side. Once you enter into that, you'll be able to go into the Weigh My Truck CAD app. Backing out once again to the second page of the dashboard, you'll see the HOS frequently asked questions in the bottom left-hand corner. That is the FAQ. So it'll give you all of the frequently asked questions, the answers to those for technical issues, training, log or violations, just basically answers to your questions. Then you can back out once again, bringing you to the middle bottom, which is the Transflo Express. It gives you additional maps to choose from. And in the bottom right is your profile settings, which finalizes the Transflo Mobile App for us. If you are having issues with your Transflo Mobile App, please contact training at extension 8554. One quick solution that we found is if you uninstall and reinstall, that does fix some of the technical issues, at least temporarily. But if you could, please report those issues to the safety department so that we can take care of those if they occur.